guys and gals, in that gorgeous Technicolor rainbow in between. I am Priest, the Poke Metalhead.
I am the sensational Sky.
I'm Keikun.
I'm Hex.
And we are
Southern
Snorlax. Okay, so Thanksgiving's here. And I just kind of thought we kind of need to do a little something different.
Yay, change!
Different is good.
Different is definitely good.
So,
I'm in shorts. That's a change.
yep, she's in shorts. She's holding her stuffy. He's just
Because
I'm just
we're
here. So, and me, you're actually seeing my face for once, so whatever.
Oh my gosh!
Late gasp. So, so I put out a call a couple times over a week on Twitter, and we got questions from a couple people, namely Phil from Phil's Next Kick and Cast the Nerd. Y'all both are freaking awesome. Horns up. So we're gonna answer them. Just take as much time as you want. It's literally gonna be a for everybody type thing. But first, I actually kind of wanted everybody to just say what they're thankful for. I know that sounds really horrendously cliche and cheesy.
No, the funny part is I was actually thinking about that when I was taking a shower. I was like, you know what? I think we should do something like that.
Yeah. Just I don't know, just what we're thankful for in general. So
Go ahead, start us off.
No,
there,
I was
Mama.
actually going to say go ahead and start, my love.
But you know what? I honestly can say that I am thankful for good friends, good food, and Pokemon.
Right on.
And Team Rocket!
Yeah. We're not dorks at all.
No,
Not a
not
minute
at
and a
all.
half, 2 minutes in, and this thing's already going off the rails. Oy Gavalt.
Doesn't it usually?
What's your thankful
Anytime you
for?
get us two together.
What am I thankful for? I'm thankful for having a place to live.
No, it's
You guys only knew the story behind of this, what led to her being
Lord.
here.
Well,
It's
no,
a lot.
like
It's a
legit.
long story.
Legit, I am thankful for having a place to live.
It is a
But no,
legit long
we
story.
were just talking. The reason why it's so funny is we were just talking about it. She was like, "Where would I be without my friends?" And I put on there, "Under the bridge downtown." And she's like, "You are so wrong for that." I'm like,
And I was laughing as I said it. So.
"Of course." So
Sick sense of humor.
this is true.
Kikun, what you thankful for, brother?
Pretty much the same growing trend. I mean, just thankful for the friends that I have, the opportunities that are coming along. In between that, I do have what I've been working on is hopefully another job opportunity that'll make things a little bit better.
Right on.
School has been turning out to be a little bit easier for me. I've been given good news that if I play my cards right, I'll graduate earlier than what I expect. So
Whoa.
I'm very thankful for that.
Props to that.
I am
Heck yeah,
very,
man.
very thankful for that, and it's a lot less stress once everything starts falling in place. And I mean, of course, for Heather and Priest, I mean, I've only been around you guys for about 3 years?
About 3 or 4 years.
3 or 4 years now, yeah.
Yeah, about 3 years.
Because we've
but,
known
like,
you about a year longer than we got married, and we've been married 2 years now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so about
So,
3 years. So, and it just feels like forever. It just fits right in.
Yeah.
Don't worry,
So-
we all know you're crazy. That's why you fit in with us.
Yeah, you
Yep.
know, that works.
It's a requirement.
There we go.
It's not a requirement, but we will train.
That too.
If you're not already there, we'll train you. No worries.
You'll get you there.
Yeah,
You'll
we'll
be quite
catch you up to
amazed
speed.
how much of there you already are.
Right.
You realize very quickly.
Basically, we'll just pull the crazy right out of you. So.
Right.
Right on. Well, I am thankful for pretty much everything. I'm thankful right now to be alive.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother story y'all don't want me to get into.
Uh,
Ditto.
I am thankful for friends and friends that aren't here because they don't really do the whole Pokemon thing. I'm thankful actually for being accepted into the community like I have. I tend to be very much a solitary loner type person, and y'all in the PokeTubing community have accepted me, and I'm so thankful for that. So, to all the friends I've made in the PokeTubing community,
Definitely.
Cast the Nerd, Phil's Next Kick, Real SciTech,
Hollow Hunter.
Hollow
Definitely
Hunter,
Curious Cloud.
Cleffa, Jesse and
Yeah.
Melanie, Master Cobra, etc. ad nauseum.
Yeah.
Noah's Pokemon, EX Pokemon opening. Just, I can go on. Y'all are all amazing people, and thank you so much for accepting me. That y'all have no idea how much that means to me. So thank y'all.
Indeed.
So-
And he's thankful to have his lovely wife by his side.
Indeed, I am.
At least he got a good one, so.
Indeed,
I try.
every other Sunday.
And sometimes on Monday.
Sometimes
PG.
I didn't have anything to do with it. I didn't say
wasn't
anything.
That wasn't not PG.
It wasn't nothing but non-PG.
So, my love, do you have the questions?
I
Por
do
favor.
indeed. I do indeed. As soon as I can unlock my phone. There we go. Okay, so our first question is from Phil's Next Kick. How did you get into Pokemon TCG?
Y'all want to start?
You can start, because
Basically, you got me into TCG.
I was literally thrown
Essentially.
into it.
She literally was. We literally said, "Hey, you're gonna open packs. Here you go."
Yeah. and from that, it's like, okay, let's get a deck together and let's start getting things done. So
Pretty much, it was like, here a pack, here's the camera, have fun.
don't worry, you won't die the first time.
That's not
Much.
true. I did.
I got into it literally when the game first came out back in, dear Lord, what was it, like 98, 99? I was a Gen 1er with the games, and then the TCG came out, and I was instantly hooked. I had a Psychic Grass deck that centered around Mewtwo, Scyther, and Chansey that was phenomenal. I still miss that deck, even though I still have my Scythers. I think I still have my Chansey, too.
I just have a question though.
Hmm.
Was that deck really Chansey?
Oh.
No! None of that. Shame on you.
Bad puns. Look at 'em.
Oh, dear
I'm
Lord.
All the
notorious
time.
for my bad puns.
Never
too.
escapes a video.
God.
Yep.
Don't worry.
So-
Hey,
I'll
you should have
probably
known that
make
was
one.
coming.
But, so basically, I was into it, and then, obviously, everybody, you fall out of it over time, and I got back into it. Actually, I'm going to leave that story, because that actually goes with another question later on down the road. So, next question, por favor.
The next question is, who are your favorite starters? Well,
What generation?
yeah. that kind of branches off into that, but as much as I love Charizard, I really do like or Charmander. Sorry, Charmander's his
Charmander's the base form.
base
yeah.
format, yeah. But believe it or not, I actually watched a death battle video that made me
I
have
know
a new
where this is
respect for
going.
Blastoise. I really have a lot of respect for Blastoise after seeing that death battle. I'm not even gonna lie, man.
Right.
I'm serious. If you haven't seen that video, man, I'm telling you, you gotta check that out. It's insane.
Right on.
You find out all kinds of stuff that Blastoise can do that I never knew.
Yeah, I'm a fire Pokemon all the way, so yeah, Charmander.
Charmander, Charizard.
Mm-hmm.
What you got, Hoss?
When I played, I always liked to go the more difficult route. So whenever I played the first go round, I would always do the grass type. So
Venusaur.
yeah, so for the base games, I would do from Bulbasaur on up, and
Bulbasaur,
then
yeah.
Chikorita and so on whenever I play. But then when I go back and I replay it, I pretty much go for the fire types. I love the fire types.
Right on. I'm a fire type guy myself. Charmander, Torchic,
Yep.
Litten.
Litten.
Actually- But honestly, my favorite starter, and I know this is so weird and against type, is Totodile. I have
he's
always been
actually
a huge
pretty
fan
good.
of Totodile.
He's
I like
pretty
Totodile.
For
underrated.
Alligator is freaking amazing. I love
Very
for Alligator.
underrated.
Yes.
I
So
think that was the only gen that when I replayed it, I didn't do a grass type. I actually did Totodile for that one because that for same thing. That for Alligator was freaking
dude,
boss.
he's amazing. Like so underrated, and everybody just kind of looks over him. He just anyway. Sorry.
I
don't
think
know,
he looks
geeking
cool.
out.
Just don't pick
Yeah.
any of the monkeys.
Yeah,
No monkeys.
All right, next question, por favor.
Okay, next question. Have you ever played any other TCGs?
Magic the Gathering, and I played Yu-Gi-Oh for about 2.5 seconds.
I've done Magic the Gathering, and I think that's pretty much. I used to play Pogs. I don't know if that counts, but no,
Pogs, man.
no, definitely played Magic the Gathering. Funniest story about that. I played in exactly one tournament before. I couldn't, do it much longer because I was getting older and it was harder to, Anyway, played in one tournament and the deck that beat everybody in the tournament was a completely first gen white deck. This thing was worth about $3,000, and this was in the
Oh,
90s.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
So
Ooh.
this thing was gorgeous. It was a complete white deck. I mean, it was stunning, and that thing devastated the entire competition.
That is
But
insane.
oh my gosh, it was beautiful to watch.
Jeez and
You
Pete.
decimated, but you looked at it. It was a beautiful decimation.
Right.
Right.
So I guess.
X, did you ever get into any TCGs?
Yeah, I got into Yu-Gi-Oh! Whenever it was a big deal,
Right
back when they still had the animes on TV, like Kids WB, and back when that stuff was still around.
Yep.
Right on.
Oh my gosh.
Miss those days, man. And then
Telling you,
as
man.
I got older, I got really into Magic the Gathering, and I used to play with my friends. That was what we would do, that or Dungeons and Dragons. So
Right
Yeah, I was more into D&D and
So-
Vampire the Masquerade.
on. Yeah.
right, so that's about it.
Okay, go.
Well, mine was Yu-Gi-Oh! I start off with Pokemon, but the funny thing is, beforehand when I did Pokemon, I never knew how to battle with it. I just collected the cards. I liked how the cards looked.
Right on.
And then Yu-Gi-Oh! I got really heavy into it, did the tournaments and stuff like that, and after a while I moved into Duel Masters.
Oh my
Oh
god.
man, I forgot about Duel
Oh, yeah.
Masters.
Did that one for
Wow.
a short time, and then
Wow.
after I kind of fell off the whole TCG train for a while, for a very long time, until Priest got me back into Pokemon, and then subsequently I've learned how to play Pokemon.
You're
Right.
welcome.
We all have. It's a learning experience here.
I've dabbled a little bit into Magic the Gathering, but I have not fully learned how to play it as of yet, and I've never played Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh god, we used to do weekend marathons. Oh,
Those
my
games can get intense and they can go on for years. I'm just saying.
oh, those weekend marathons when I was in high school. Let me tell you.
I will say there's
Very-
one card game I completely forgot to mention. And it was one that I was huge into for about 2 years. Versus System.
Yeah.
I was huge into Versus
Oh,
System.
yes.
I had a Fantastic Four Batman deck that was
Oh, wow.
amazing. Because I exploited this freaking loophole they had with Silver Surfer and with Onslaught. I would stall the game until I was able to get him out. Then Silver Surfer was sacrifice a Fantastic Four character card from your hand, and you'd get automatic control first move of the game. So then you would do that, and then Onslaught at the beginning of your turn, choose a faction. Every single character on the field of that faction dies, and their owner takes damage.
Wow.
So you would constantly do the Silver Surfer Onslaught loop, and I was doing -100, -200 overkill runs with it.
Goodness.
Nice.
Yeah, it was fun. It was
That's
really
almost
fun.
as
Playing
bad
with
as
you
the
would have been
or
really
the,
make me really
Egyptian
mad.
god cards. in
Well, you have to
Yu-Gi-Oh.
understand, I was in Job Corps at the time, so we literally would sit around all day with nothing to do. But me and a group of like 10 friends that all got into the Versus System at the same time, playing against each other, just getting better and better and better.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's what makes it.
So, I mean,
That's like when I had my Yu-Gi-Oh deck. The last one I did I built a deck that was based around the Black Luster Soldier and the Dark Magician Mage.
It was furry.
Mhm.
But I had it
It's
so
velocity.
tweaked in the point that while my opponent was doing stuff, I was still able to do stuff in the middle of the turns. So if they've gotten to the
Yeah.
point where they were able to attack, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to do this and switch out and put another monster, and it'll be a monster that's stronger. So the attack would be hitting that monster, causing them to damage themselves.
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
And
wow.
it was literally my overrun deck.
It can get brutal.
And,
That's all I'm saying.
yeah.
The struggle
Yeah.
is real.
The last time I had that deck, I probably ran through like one of my friends. He was like one of the better people among us. And when I put that together, I probably ran through and won within 5 minutes.
Oh,
And
jeez,
I
Pete.
remember like when Zodiac was the big one.
Zodia, yeah.
Exodia.
And that,
Oh
oh yeah,
my
that
God.
reminded me of
Wow.
another one, the ground collapse cards for Yu-Gi-Oh. So whenever you play this card, you take away, I think it was two, you take away like 1 or 2 spaces. So it's like 1 or 2 less spaces they can put out. So if you had like 3 of those cards, you put it out, they can't put out any monsters.
Oh my
and
gosh.
that was another one I had. So like,
Oh my god,
did that
dude.
one. And
Talk about
finally-
ruthless.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh,
Guys like you used to make
I'm
me mad
telling
at
you,
Magic
it,
tournaments.
it wasn't just guys that did that stuff too.
Well, I mean, guys,
if you
as in,
wanted
like,
to win, you pull out everything you had.
Oh, yeah.
see,
Yes.
anytime anybody played like that, I used to
Oh,
just make me
Toon
so
World,
mad.
man.
Oh yeah.
Toon World
And then I
the
pulled the
Toon
Bakura
Dragons.
and had the final, because that was the other equivalent to Exodia. When
Mm-hmm.
they banned Exodia, final was the only thing you can use.
Right on. Alright. Are we ready for the next question?
Yep.
Let's bring it on.
What's the next one?
What are your other hobbies?
My love, first up.
Well, first of all, we collect a lot of Pokemon stuff.
Mhm.
We collect pop figures. He collects the WWE figures. I actually
Also collect
do.
the Harry Potter pop figures
You
too.
do.
I have
You
I
collect
have
a
a
lot of
complete
different.
collection up to date, including all con-specific ones and everything
Yeah.
of the Harry Potter
Nice.
set.
Yeah, he does. He does have that whole set.
I might be a fan.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Just
a little bit.
A little
Just
bit.
a little bit.
I make jewelry and I roast my own coffee. So that's something I enjoy. I
Oh,
drink my own
guys,
coffee.
you gotta get it. If you have not, you gotta get it. I don't drink coffee, but that stuff smells amazing.
Yeah, it tastes even better than it smells.
It really does.
I'm just an all-around crafty person, personally. I just kind of get into anything and everything. It just kind of...
I too
happens.
am a crafty person.
That's-
I also do the jewelry thing, and that's pretty much it. Other than metal stuff.
Going to
Because-
random concerts.
Hey, it was totally worth it, man.
It like depends.
Speaking of that event, that one adventure to it was really freaking worth it.
Shoot,
See,
I'm
what
still bruised
happened
from the last
was-
one.
She comes in on a train from Mississippi. She's like,
Not
"Hey,
a train, it
I'm
was
on a train to come for a concert and I need a ride." And I'm like, "Okay." So I ended up going to pick her up. She's like, "Well, I'm going to a concert. You want to come?" I was like, "Well,
Mr. Never been to a metal concert.
I've never
over
been
here.
to a metal
It
concert."
wasn't even
so,
metal, it was horror punk.
well,
Yeah, it was
that.
Doyle. It wasn't.
It was
like,
It was horror
yeah.
punk.
but either way, I haven't been to any type of concert of that sort. So I was like, at first I was on the fence. I was like, "You know what? Adventure time. Let's do it." So I went and I got to
he was
experience
already
my
there, so
Yeah,
Might as
I had to
well.
go bring her
Right.
there, so I was like, "Yeah, I'll just go ahead and do it." So I got to experience that as far as for that concert, and I had a lot of fun. I got to meet Doyle, I got the autographs, I got to meet Davey Suicide and got their autographs, take pictures with them, and it was fun. Other than that, as far as hobbies go, obviously now back to collecting Pokemon TCG. I'm very big on tech. That's pretty much my field of work. I work on computers. I work on ATMs. So in my personal time, I have my own computers that I play with. I build from scratch. I do photography,
Cosplay.
cosplay.
Oh,
Big
Yeah.
cosplayer.
Yes,
very
he is
big
a very
into
big
that.
cosplayer.
I go
That
into
too.
His
the
Ken
different,
Kaneki cosplay
It's
is amazing.
amazing.
um,
Oh, yeah.
I
he's
still
won
want to
competitions before.
learn how to sew so I can start hand making cosplays.
Oh, yeah.
You'd make
Yeah.
a lot of money.
Oh man.
Even
so, yeah.
even if we just did it for ourselves. I mean,
Right.
it's
Right.
Well, I
totally
mean,
worth
it would be more for myself, but
So, yeah.
You could do your Lady
I
Duff
go-
costume.
I go to the different conventions
Raven
and
first, then Lady Death.
cosplay.
Yeah.
Off and on, I
That's
collect some of the WWE figures, of course. Got me into it.
Here's the real question. Here's the real question. What has he not gotten you into?
Well, that's
Yeah.
PG.
there we
That,
go.
that
Drugs,
doesn't count.
yeah.
Well, so
Same
far,
here.
You
Anthony's
haven't even
really
gotten into
gotten me
drugs. What are you
into-
talking about?
Very fair point.
He's gotten me into at least far as back in the Pokemon TCG and collecting the wrestling figures and now the cards, because they've given me my first binder of a set, thanks to both Header and Priest.
Yeah.
And I collect pops. I've gotten more heavy into collecting pops thanks to, once again, but I already was
Are you
collecting.
trying to say he's like a
Bad
large...
influence?
Oh no, he's not a
Bad
bad influence at all. Sort of, maybe, but
An
other than that,
expensive investment.
other than
Yes.
that, like whatever basically piques my interest at that time, I will try and see, what works with it.
Right on. Collect pop figures, huge collector of pop figures, primarily focused on WWE and Harry Potter. We also have a big Doctor Who pop collection.
Oh, yeah, we
only,
have a huge
like
Doctor
2
Who
away
pop
from
collection.
having the entirety of Doctor
Dragon
Who.
Ball Z.
Dragon Ball Z.
I collect Dragon Ball Z. I collect all
The
the
horror pops.
Firefly. I collect as many horror pops. I collect the Power Rangers ones whenever I can.
Right.
Not the new movie, just the original Power
Just the
Ranger
original
ones.
ones.
The expensive
Big
ones.
collector of WWE figures and NXT figures, particularly NXT.
Right.
Of course, Pokemon, wrestling cards.
Wrestling.
I collect wrestler autobiography books because
And autographs.
and
We have quite
autographs.
a bit
Yeah,
of
we have.
autographs.
Let's see.
That's
Yeah, we
partially
have a
K-Kun's
lot. Yeah, that's partially
influence
his
right
thing.
there.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I did
Uh,
some influence.
Yeah.
One.
The
Two.
Ric Flair autograph we
There's like
have
3 or
and
4
the
things.
William Regal autographed figure both came from K-Kun.
Yeah,
Thank y'all, sir.
definitely. That's awesome.
We also have an autographed Scott Hall figure, autographed pictures from Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Hardcore Holly, and a local guy named Jay Spade who really needs to be signed.
Yes.
I got
And
pictures
we
of
also
him.
have an autographed
He's
pop
amazing.
of Kevin Owens from when we met
Yes.
him
Oh, yeah.
a
We
met
couple
him.
months back.
Yes.
And upcoming,
And I got to meet Heath Slater and Rhino. Heck yeah.
Yeah, we
got
did.
Rhino was
Heath Slater,
awesome, man.
Rhino. We
Rhino
got to
was
dance
awesome.
around with No Way Jose, which was
Oh my
freaking amazing.
gosh,
I
that-
actually got a good picture of that
Yes.
too.
I hate you so much for that.
all right, next question.
Alright. Oh, sorry, my phone keeps going on.
Because we're talking too much. That's what it is.
Favorite books and movies.
Oh, that's
Oh
hard.
dear Lord.
Oh gosh. Well,
All right, go ahead and just peel off a list, starting with you.
well, my all-time favorite book is always going to be Pride and Prejudice. It's a classic. I've read it at least 10 or 12 times. To go on the opposite end of the spectrum, the book that I've read the second most was Hannibal by Thomas Harris. I've read that one about 4 or 5 times. So I mean, my range of reading varies drastically. I love the Anita Blake books by Laurel K. Hamilton. I'm big into like the horror, sci-fi, fantasy, supernatural genre, stuff like that. I love pretty much anything Charlene Harris. I just finished watching the Midnight Texas series, which turned out pretty decently. The books were better, of course, but the series was pretty decent. It was a lot better than the first one they did with True Blood from the Sookie Stackhouse books, which was a catastrophe. But the books themselves were amazing. I'm a big horror fan. That's one of the things that Priest and I have in common, that we've
All
It kinda
3
got
of
us-
us have
yeah.
in common.
well, and that's the thing. That's kind of one of the things that brought us
Horror.
together was our love of horror movies and rare steak.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
rare, medium rare.
Medium
right on
rare,
that
yeah.
edge. Right on that edge.
Yeah, but
If the cow is still mooing, it's pretty much ready for the plate. That's all I'm saying. Searing it with a flashlight at 20 meters, okay?
Hey.
yeah, that's all I'm saying.
I just
I'm
hear
a
in the
big.
background like, "Moo, all right, bring it in."
Yep, pretty much.
I'm pretty much I love anything British. Like, I am a British movie, TV show aholic. Like, pretty much anything British TV or British comedy or drama or anything, I'm on board. You know, I'll pretty much pick up anything and be like, you know, this looks interesting. So, you know, look, prime example.
Alrighty then. That's how it's gonna be tonight. Alrighty.
All right, Hex, what you got?
As far as books go, I like anything horror related, sci-fi or fantasy. Really got hardcore into the Anne Rice Vampire Chronicles.
Yeah.
Definitely got into some of Garth Nix's stuff, one of the Abhorsen series. And I love my poetry. I like my Edgar Allan Poe, I like my Lovecraft.
Oh, yeah.
You know, just, I can't say anything else. I just love that stuff. As far as movies go, I love all types of horror movies, even the ones that are so bad they're good.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, Stitches. Yes. If you haven't seen it, you have to. It's great.
Necromantic too.
That one too.
ABC's of Death. I love ABC's of Death.
I
that
love
was great.
horror.
1 and 2.
And I like some of the comedy stuff, and I love horror comedy. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Deathgasm. That's all I'm saying. That
Still
movie,
haven't watched that one. I have
that
to watch that one.
movie
We have
is
to watch that one.
so funny.
All right, Brian, K-Kun, sorry.
That's okay. You've been calling me by my real name the whole night.
That's okay. Oh, by the way, real name time: Heather, Hex, Brian. Chris.
Yeah, she doesn't go by her real name.
She doesn't
It's
go by her
not my
real
name,
name, and I go by
unless you wanna,
Priest
like,
more than I
die.
go by my real name, so just call me Priest anyways.
I'm pretty much legally Hex
Yeah,
at
pretty
this
much.
point.
Pretty much.
So
Anyways,
mine's
books and
pretty
movies.
much just about the same concept. I like horror. Other than that, opposite end of the spectrum, same thing as Hex. I love Edgar Allan Poe. I have his, I have the Complete Works book, and as far as movies go, would be horror, sci-fi, fantasy, action, comedy.
Not to mention your
Deadpool.
love for anime.
Yes,
Oh, I like
also
anime too.
Both
So
of
on the
y'all.
other side
All three
of
of
books on the other side of books would be more of manga related. So
Yeah.
the old school stuff: Dragon Ball Z, Rurouni Kenshin.
Vampire Knight.
But do you read Ranma 1/2, sir?
Hell yes.
As anybody can tell, I am the only one that's not like a huge anime fan.
She's
I'm
out
not
of
a
the loop.
huge anime fan, but I do enjoy my classic anime.
I don't
Oh,
know.
yes.
You know a lot more anime than I do. I only know a handful. I am trying. I'm trying.
Gundam, the original Gundam.
Books.
One Punch Man.
One Punch Man.
My favorite book of all time has long been Firestarter by Stephen King.
Oh yes.
Stephen King was
Just
great.
I've read pretty much every Stephen King book, and that still to this date is my favorite. In addition, huge fan of the Hannibal Lecter trilogy. Not quadrilogy. Thank you very much.
They can kiss my butt on that last one. That was a joke.
Hannibal Rising was written under duress and is not an official part of the series.
No.
Thank you.
Hannibal was the last book.
In addition, being an independent author for many years,
Amazing
I
writer.
do have a lot of friends who are writers.
Cam.
And I actually thoroughly really enjoy their books.
Yeah.
Daisy by R.B. Clegg is awesome. One of my personal favorites is Rhythm and Blue, by TFC Parks, Tammy Parks.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. I don't even go for the romantic book, and this book is just simply one of the best works of fiction I've ever read.
Tales of the Morbidly Macabre.
The Button Man by Wayne DePriest. I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's his book, by the way. Short stories, amazing, by the way. Well, that's how we met. Yeah, I mean, that's how we get to become friends. Was because of his book signing.
Ignore that. Thank you very much.
Don't ignore it.
He's
Go
short
find it.
himself.
Also, another book I really enjoy is, amazingly enough, it's a media tie-in book. It's X-Men Smoke and Mirrors, written by Iluki Bes-Shahar, which is a pen name for Rosemary Edgehill. Absolutely phenomenal book that just captured the voices of the characters so perfectly, and the new characters that were introduced. Why they never made it into the actual comics itself, I have no idea. Movie-wise, I'm a huge superhero movie fanatic.
Yeah.
I have the entirety of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and have rewatched pretty much every single one of them on the regular. Same thing with the X-Men movies, same thing with the Blade trilogy, the original Spider-Man trilogy, not that
Not the
craptastic
remake
Spider-Man
one. Ugh.
duology after that. Also, huge horror movie fanatic. In particular, I like Hammer horror, and I really like my 80s classics and my 70s, the psychedelic head messing stuff like Suspiria and whatnot. And I was a huge zombie movie aficionado for a while, but I've kind of fallen off of that.
Well, they've just gotten really kind of dumb over the years.
It's the Walking Dead came out, and then all of a sudden everybody and their mom was all zombie, 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 and after it gets shoved down your throat so much, you're like, you know what? Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, and it felt like it became very.
It's almost like the vampire craze when the stupid Twilight series came out.
Oh.
You know what? Let me say something about Twilight. The books. If you got past the second book. No, if you got past the second book, the books were actually somewhat decent.
I read all of the books, and I
couldn't even bring myself to read them.
What was that author's name? I can't even remember that author's name. But the further she went in her writing career, she actually got pretty decent. She wrote a book called The Host that was not a Twilight book. That was actually amazingly well written.
Yeah.
Now, the movie adaptation was absolute crap. But the book was actually fairly decent.
I'd have to read that one. I haven't read that one, but I read all the Twilight series, and it was. I do not agree that no.
I'd never gonna bring myself to read it.
I don't like the movies. I don't even like the series, but I'm looking at just the technical aspect of the writing.
Mm-hmm.
She got so much better, and by the time, what was the last one? Breaking Dawn, I think it was.
Breaking Dawn was the last
Breaking Dawn. By the time Breaking Dawn came around, she was actually a fairly competent writer, which does say something. Even if the narrative sucks ass. Just saying.
Still not as good as Joe Hill.
Oh no, Joe Hill's still 20 million times better.
Oh gosh, if you don't know who Joe Hill is, you have to check out Nose 4A2.
It's Stephen King's son, who's now a horror writer in his own regard. He's amazing.
Of course, Heart-Shaped Box is really good too.
Yes. Horns, a novel.
Horns, yes.
Right.
Even though the movie adaptation was terrible.
Next question, because we just killed, I think, like 10 minutes with that question.
Well,
sorry,
that was a list-long question.
Yeah, so. Well, books and movies are our thing. That's literally all of our things. I think we all
agree that don't ask us about books and movies because we can ramble
on for days. We'll give you an hour-long biography, each of us. All right, so from Cass the Nerd, how did Southern Snorlax come into being?
Okay.
These two people right here.
So Southern Snorlax was, when I first started getting into YouTube, it was an extension of podcasting. Me and my friend Raven we still do it periodically, a podcast called the Priest and Raven Power Hour. Children, do not look that up, because all the profanity every time. We've used every variation of the F word I think have ever been created, and a few that haven't been created before.
There's a few that they've actually created for that.
And that's actually how I met you guys.
Yep.
So.
Mostly him. I don't show up on it that much.
So when we did that, we would record the podcast, and then we put it up on YouTube just as an audio file. Then eventually we started doing live streaming, and we would take that and put that on YouTube as well. And
Facebook. It was a Facebook thing for a while.
And Heather asked one day, why do you not want me in your YouTube stuff? And I thought about it, it's like, it's not that I don't. Well, what can we do, YouTube? And at that point, I had started watching, it started with Steel Scizor, back when he was all of Pokemon TCG. I think it was his second Horde video. I came across it at work, and I literally, in a number of sittings, watched the entire thing over the course of the shift. And I was just enamored. I loved it. And I just started watching more of his stuff. That led me to Curious Cleffa, led me to Pokemon Evolutionaries, led me to a bit Oddish. And then it went on from there. I was like, man, I really want to do that, but I kept holding myself back because, unless you have like a sponsor or something, PokeTubing is a black hole money wise. And I was like, man, I really want to do something YouTube with Heather. And I'm like, you know what? Let's do it. Let's just do it. We have a phone. We have a tripod. We'll set up a little backdrop. I had a little thing that I could put cards up against or whatnot. And I had already bought a Snorlax GX box. Just because Snorlax, I mean, come on, obviously, name of the channel.
Our namesake.
Yeah, our namesake.
Of course.
And so we put like the
My
jumbo from
namesake.
that up and the 2 promos from the box up. And we were like, you know what, we're going to do it. And we ended up, what was the first trip? I think the first trip we ended up spending like $250 on Pokemon cards. Like,
Yeah, because we did
the first go.
the Incineroar box, the Decidueye box.
Yeah, we
The
just did a
Snorlax.
whole mess of stuff.
I think we did our first ETB.
Um,
It was just insane.
yeah,
We
it was
spent-
just insane. We literally went off the deep end like in that first shopping trip.
Yeah.
And we've just been up and running since. And then as it went along, got Brian in on it. And then Hex, as she said, you know, we've been friends.
Literally
She
got
was-
thrown into it.
She was friends with Raven, my co-host for Priest and Raven Power Hour, and we just kept in touch as friends. And then when she came down here, we were like, okay, well, you're in on it now.
Yep.
And then, you know, Ayn, whenever she's in on it. Just literally just whoever's in the...
It's literally kind of just grown from one or, 2 people team to just, anybody who wants to come in and do Pokemon cards with us and
I just
hang
call it a
out
party
and-
line because it is a party line. It's a couple
We have
people
fun
and then a
doing
big
it.
big old peanut gallery in the background cracking
I'm
jokes
getting that plastered up here somewhere.
Yeah, we're gonna get a sign that says Peanut Gallery. up there.
I keep saying I'm gonna do it, and we're gonna do it.
That's
So
okay. We're gonna get a
it's
Team
literally,
Snorlax
I mean,
shirt.
Yeah,
Southern
we're working on that.
Snorlax. That's one thing that kind of gets to me is everybody just, like when I interact with people on Twitter, everybody just, oh, hey, it's Southern Snorlax. And it's like, no, my name is not Southern Snorlax. I am Priest, the Poking Metalhead. Southern Snorlax is like an umbrella term. Like, you watch the Pokemon
mother
Evolutionaries. You watch the Pokemon Evolutionaries, but you don't call Professor K the Pokemon Evolutionary. That's Professor K for Pokemon Evolutionaries.
Yeah.
Priest Poke Metalhead for Southern
Southern
Snorlax. It's that sort of thing. So, wow, that was a long and involved answer,
Sweetheart, I wouldn't expect anything less from you.
pretty much.
Like I said, the mother channel.
Pretty much. All right, I know we have one more question.
Any particular inspirations? Well, I think that story kind of explained it, actually.
Yeah,
that kind of
I
went into...
Steel Scizor, a bit oddish, really, really, really kind of gave me the inspiration to do it with Heather.
Right. Because there wasn't too many... At that time, there wasn't really that many people that were doing...
Well, I knew of a couple,
husband
but
and
I
wife
just never
teams
watched
or
them. The only one I
boyfriend,
really
girlfriend.
watched was Bit Oddish.
Bit oddish, yeah.
And that showed me that it could be done, a man and a wife, or, man and girlfriend, man and fiance, etc.
Yeah.
Could do a channel together, and it would work.
Yeah.
Like I said, and also...
I think it works pretty well.
Also Steel Scizor, etc., etc. I'm not going to go through the whole damn list again.
Yeah, I mean it's a bit lengthy.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple other we watched that we watch Pokey Soup and Leonhardt and
I don't
there's a
really
few
watch
other...
Leonhardt anymore.
Yeah, I mean we do sometimes. Pokey Soup we watch a lot of.
Yeah, we watch a lot of Poke Soup.
A lot of
And
Pokey
and
Soup.
Pokemon Evolutionary.
And Pokemon Evolutionaries.
Shout out. We have them.
I watch a lot of Hollow Hunter.
Same.
I
Yeah.
watch whenever Real Sci-Tech puts
Real
out a video.
Sci-Tech,
Phil's
yeah.
Next Kick, I watch every video.
Yeah.
Cast a Nerd, I watch every video.
If I see you on my VidMe, I've probably watched your video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I just go down. I've been watching Neighbor Games.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I've been
Okay.
watching him a lot
Okay.
lately. I don't really watch his wife Ketonics, just because she's more like Sims gameplay videos. That's not really what I dig on.
Right.
I'll upvote the videos.
I love Sims. Though,
I'll
so.
upvote the videos for support because support everybody. But
Right. Absolutely.
just in terms of watching the videos, not really my thing. So
Yeah.
no offense.
I watch them.
everybody has their things,
I,
Yep.
I like video games and random stuff.
I'm
so.
more of a comic book nerd, so I mean, I like Miss Marvel, and that's my new one that I've been reading. Is Miss Marvel. I love that. That's
I
really
need
cool.
to reread Transmetropolitan.
Oh my gosh, I love Transmet.
That's so good.
So good. I've read
Anyways.
it twice all the way through. I love it, and I'm a DC girl myself. I love my Harley and my Joker, especially Joker.
I am unaffiliated. I like both sides.
I'm starting to get more and more.
Marvel. The Ultimate Marvel Universe is the greatest creation in comic book history. Thank you very much.
I'm starting to get more and more into Marvel with the incarnations of some of the more diverse comic book heroes.
Right.
You know, like Miss Marvel. If you haven't read Miss Marvel's great.
Right.
I'm reading Alias now too. I really like Jessica Jones, so that's pretty cool. It's DC, but you know.
That was a complete tangent off topic.
Yeah, sorry. I get tangenty.
So, I think that's about it. There's no more questions?
Nope, that was it.
Okay. Do we have anything else we want to add?
Check out our videos,
All of our videos.
please.
Well, I think that's pretty much it.
Don't forget to like our stuff too.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
We're not all
Support
one
the
person.
community. Yes, please support the community. That's a big thing that we really want other people to do besides watching our videos. Support the community, support the people that make us who we are. You know,
Right.
without
And
other people, we wouldn't be able to do this.
And
you know?
support your local music scene.
Yes, very big on the local music scene. We have a
Southern Brutality, man.
yes, Southern Brutality was amazing. Misled was amazing.
Mm-hmm. They were all pretty good.
They were all great. Our local metal scene here is pretty decent sometimes.
Event
so.
Horizon.
Yeah.
Angry 88, my boys.
Yep.
Shout out to you guys.
So, alright, well, I think that's about it, and that's about that.
Yeah. Well, let's do it.
Alright, so, for Southern Snorlax, I am Priest of Poke Metalhead.
Sensational Sky.
Hex.
Kikun.
Thank y'all so much for watching. Y'all have a great day, a great Thanksgiving if you're watching this on the day it's released. And just a great everything.
Enjoy your family. Enjoy your friends.
Enjoy
Never-
having a place to live.
Yes. Never take anything for granted because you never
Definitely.
know what can
We
happen.
could all lose it all tomorrow, so.
Yeah. You definitely should be thankful for what you have.
Yes.
And be thankful for your kids, too.
Yes.
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 So, y'all take care of yourselves. Peace.
Peace.
Bye, guys.